Chapter 32. 8 days after the Roston tragedy, and just as it was beginning to wind down and folks were discussing other matters, it bolted back onto center stage in the weekly edition of the Ford County Times. On the front page, under a bold headline, "County mourns loss of Roston brothers," were large class photos of Kyle and Bo. Below it and beneath the fold were photos of their wrecked car, their coffins being carried out of their church, and their classmates holding candles at a vigil outside Clanton High School. Dumas Lee had missed little. His stories were long and detailed. On page 2 was a large photo of Simeon Lang, his face ominously bandaged, leaving the courthouse in handcuffs the previous Thursday with his attorney of record, Mr. Arthur Welch of Clarksdale. The story that accompanied the photo made no mention of Jake Brigance, primarily because Jake had threatened Dumas and the newspaper with a libel suit if it even remotely implied that he represented Simeon. There was mention of the old but still pending DUI charge from the previous October, but Dumas did not pursue it or imply that it had been improperly handled. He was terrified of litigation and usually backed down quickly. The two obituaries were lengthy and heartbreaking. There was a story from the high school with glowing comments from classmates and teachers. There was one from the accident scene, with Ozzy providing the details. The eyewitness had a lot to say and got his photo in the newspaper. The parents were silent, and Uncle asked that their privacy be respected. Jake had read every word by 7 a.m. and felt exhausted. He skipped the coffee shop because he was tired of the endless prattling about the tragedy. He kissed Carla goodbye at 7:30 and went to the office, hoping for a return to his normal routine. His goal was to spend most of the day working on cases other than Hubbard. He had a handful of clients in real need of some attention. Just after 8 o'clock, Stillman Rush called with the news that he had just been fired by Herschel Hubbard. Jake listened thoughtfully. On the one hand, he was delighted to see Stillman in the back door because he really didn't care for the guy.
What an exciting day it is.
But on the other hand,
he
was bothered by Wade Lanier's powers of manipulation.
Recognizing students from all
in his only other major trial, that of Carl Lee Haley, Jake had gone toe-to-toe with Rufus Buckley, then an accomplished district attorney. And while Buckley was quite skilled in the courtroom and smooth on his feet, he was not overly bright, not a crafty manipulator or a clever schemer, not at all like Wade Lanier, who seemed to be always one step ahead. Jake was convinced Lanier would do anything, lie, cheat, steal, cover up, whatever it took to
signing a
win
letter
the trial.
that says to that special
And he had
student,
the
that special time in life, it's
quick
about
wit,
you.
and bag of
there's nothing
tricks
more
to do
powerful
so.
than telling a student that
Jake
you
wanted
want them,
Stillman in the
for a
courtroom.
and you're excited to have him there.
We're super excited about your decision to invest in your digital literacy
Jake sounded
skills and to
sufficiently
jumpstart
sad
your
to say
career to the
goodbye,
next level.
but forgot about
Today
the call
you're signing
within
with a
the
school
hour.
that's going to prepare you for
Portia needed reassuring.
and we
They
congratulate
had
you.
fallen into the habit of having a morning coffee around 8:30,
It's important not only
always
for
in
you,
Jake's
for your
office.
family, but it's also
The family had
important for the
received
community.
4
Into the
threatening
nation as a
calls
whole.
in the days after the
Chosen a
accident,
great time to
but
chase
now
your
the
dreams.
calls seemed to
The
have stopped.
ever-changing automotive technology has
A
created
deputy
huge
still
demand
hung
for
around
you,
the house,
and
sitting in the
FCA is ready
driveway,
to welcome
checking
you
the
to
rear door
family.
at night, and the
Signing a
family
letter
was
again,
feeling
putting a hat
safer.
on, having business
The
and industry
Rostons
people
had handled
side by
themselves
side
with such
saying,
grace
"You
and
complete your
courage
program and
that
you
the raw
graduate, we'd like to
feelings
talk to you about
had been
employment."
contained.
I can't think of anything more important.
It sounds
However,
strange, but I
if
believe
Simeon
the
decided he
number one
wanted a
benefit
trial, then the
technical
entire
education
nightmare
is
would
that
be
it ushers
replayed.
in other intrinsic
Portia,
skills.
Letty, and the rest of
Skills
the
like
family
confidence,
were worried about the
humility,
spectacle of a trial,
risk-taking,
of having to
and
face
attention
the
to
Roston
detail.
family
The
in
opportunities
court.
represented by technical careers and critical
Jake
industries
doubted that would
continue
ever
to grow.
happen.
So do
if it
the
did,
requirements for the
it would
skills
be at
and
least
the
a
knowledge
year
of the
away.
workers who will pursue them.
Your commitment
For 3
today
months,
is going to lead to
he
personal
had been
success,
prodding
and that
Letty
success
to
is
get
going
a
to be
job,
realized
any
in your
job.
families,
It
in
would
your
be
communities,
important
and
at
in
trial
companies
for
like
the
Trent.
jurors to
I
know she
firmly
was
believe
working
that we are
and
at the
trying
very
to
cusp, the
support
very
her
beginning
family,
of the new
not
technology
retired
piece.
at
We know that it's
47
already out
and
there coming, but
expecting
it's
the
really at its
windfall.
infancy.
And we want to thank you
But no
for
white
the fact
homemaker
that you
would hire
have
her
made this
as a
decision
housekeeper,
and that you are going
not
to
with
start
her
on this
baggage
incredible journey.
controversy.
And we want to wish you
She was
success
too
and good
old
luck
for the
in this
fast
career
food
endeavor.
joints,
On behalf of
too
the LS
black
Derrick Company,
for anyone's
I would like
office
to
staff.
acknowledge all the participating
Mama got a
schools,
job,
instructors,
Portia said
and
proudly.
family members who have supported these
Excellent.
students to
Where?
this point.
And we want to thank you
The
for the
Methodist
fact
Church.
that you have made
She'll
this
clean their
decision
preschool
and
3
that you are
days a
going to
week.
start on this incredible
Minimum
journey.
wage,
Without
that's
you,
all she
our
can find right
infrastructure
now.
would never be built,
Is she happy?
buildings would never be made,
She filed
and
for
we would not
divorce 2
have
days ago,
the things that we have.
and her last name
We
is
want to wish
pretty
you the best of
toxic
luck
around
and
here.
pass along our
She has a
congratulations
son in
on the
prison,
choices you're making
a house
today
full of
and the future
deadbeat
success
relatives,
you're going to
a
achieve.
So I
21-year-old
want to
daughter
thank you
with
today
2 unwanted
and
kids,
appreciate everyone's efforts
Life's
to make
pretty
this day
tough for my
happen.
mom.
And again, to the
a job
staffs
that
across
pays
the country at each
$3.50
one
an
of our
hour
schools.
is not likely to bring much happiness. Sorry I asked. They were on his balcony, outside where the air was brisk but not too cold. Jake had a million things on his mind, and he had already had a gallon of coffee. You remember Charlie Pardue? My so-called cousin from Chicago? She asked. Met him at Claude's a couple of months ago? Sure. You call him a shyster who wants money for a new funeral home. Yep, we've been talking on the phone. And he's found a relative over at
Colleges for joining us on this very, very special day, recognizing
Ours
students
was severely
from all across
damaged
this
in
United States of the
1948.
value and the
A lot
nobleness
of
of
records
technical
were lost.
education.
This was an idea
Can I
about
dig
how
through
to
the old
engage
files?
directly with young
Why?
people and bring
It's
them
waste.
into great
Because
career
I love
fields.
the legal
Today, you're about to take an important
I
step to
spent
prepare
hours in
for
the
a
courthouse
fulfilling
reading
career.
old court files and
This
land
day
records.
highlights the
You
importance
can
of
learn a
celebrating the
ton
dignity
about
of
a
work
place and its
and
people.
technical training that makes a
Did
real
you know
difference
that
in
in
preparing people
1950
for
they
success
hung a man
and
in
jobs
front of the
across many
courthouse 1
sectors.
month after
We're
his
excited
trial?
about the wide
He
realm of
robbed security
opportunities
bank,
that you are
shot a
embarking
man,
on.
but didn't really
The
hurt him.
value of
Made
gaining
off
a
with
high-quality
$200
technical
and got
education
caught.
is something that can bring
They
benefits for
tried him
years
on
to
the
come.
spot.
Having the opportunity
And strung
with
him up.
signing a letter of intent says to that special student that special time
I
in
guess
life
they
is
didn't
about
worry
you.
about
And
overcrowded
there's nothing more
prisons.
powerful than telling a student that you want them in the program and that you're excited to have them there.
We're super excited about your decision to invest in your digital literacy skills and to jumpstart your career to the next level. Today you're signing with a school that's going to prepare you for the quickly changing world of work.
And we congratulate you for the fact that you've made this decision. It's important. It's important not only to you and your family, but it's also important to your community and to the nation as a whole.
You've chosen a great time to chase your dream. The ever-changing automotive technology has created a huge demand for you, and FCA is ready to welcome you to the family.
Signing a letter of intent, putting a hat on, having business and industry people side by side saying when you complete your program and you graduate, we'd like to talk to you about employment. I can't think of anything more important.
It sounds strange, but I believe the #1 benefit from technical education is that it ushers in other intrinsic skills. Skills like confidence, humility, risk-taking, and attention to detail.
The opportunities represented by technical careers in critical industries continue to grow, and so do the requirements for the skills and the knowledge of the workers who will pursue them.
Your commitment today is going to lead to personal success, and that success is going to be realized in your families, in your communities, and in companies like Trane.
I firmly believe that we are at the very cusp, the very beginning of a new technology piece. We know that it's already out there and coming, but it's really at its infancy.
And we want to thank you for the fact that you have made this decision and that you are going to start on this incredible journey.
And we want to wish you success and good luck in this career endeavor.
On behalf of the LS Derrick Company, I would like to acknowledge all the participating schools, instructors, and family members who have supported these students to this point.
And we want to thank you for the fact that you have made this decision and that you are going to start on this incredible journey. Without you, our infrastructure would never be built, buildings would never be made, and we would not have the things that we have today.
We want to wish you the best of luck and pass along our congratulations on the choices you're making today and the future success you're going to achieve.
So I want to thank you today
and appreciate everyone's efforts to make this day happen. And again, to the staffs across the country of each one of our schools.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to fourth year of National Technical Letter Intent Signing Day. What an exciting day it is. And I want to thank all the participating colleges for joining us on this very, very special day, recognizing students from all across this United States of the value and the nobleness of technical education.
This was an idea about how to engage directly with young people and bring them into great career fields.